The best time of the year is upon us. Football is back, MLB playoffs are just around the corner, and your favorite artists are out on tour. But did you know you can go to events like these for half off or more when you buy tickets last minute with Game Time? Game Time is the fastest growing ticketing app that guarantees the lowest price on tickets to all your favorite sports, concerts, and shows. You can see the view from your seat in the app, and checkout takes less than 30 seconds. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code DK20 for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's DK20 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgart's podcast.
We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code Dan for a special offer when you sign up. That's code Dan, only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Guys, I got a question for you.
Ooh, I like it. Love a question.
Is there an etiquette for red-eye flights as a passenger? Or can
Yes.
Only in
Yes.
Vegas.
Shoes stay on. Universal.
but that's on any flight. Shoes should stay on.
Just go to sleep.
Okay, that's what I thought. Except for the guys sitting in front of me who had the loudest goddamn conversation for the entirety of the flight. I'm talking about cackling laughter. And by the way, they didn't know each other. Because I saw when they boarded and they're like, hey, how's it going? You flying to Miami? And then I'm like, okay, that's like the usual chatter you do when you sit down. And then after we take off, that's it, right? Nope.
You think red-eye flights should be quieter? There should be a rule, an unspoken rule.
Yeah. Shut up. Shut the fork up.
That's decorum. That like they flick the lights off. They don't they don't even have like beverage services.
No.
Right? Like there's nothing. It is a dead.
You gotta whisper.
Space.
Can I get a glass of water?
Yeah, treat it like the library.
Yeah, man. And then midway through, or not midway through, I think when we were landing, the guy who's part of this loud ass conversation recognizes someone else on the other. Hey, Will! He's waving his goofy hand, and I'm like, God, just wait till you get off the plane. What are you gonna do? Hug? What are you do? What were you doing in Vegas? Whatever. Shut up. Be quiet.
What was Will doing in Vegas?
I don't know. I was just so angry and upset and parched.
You just seethed instead of sleeping the entire flight in here?
I tried to sleep, but like I would like get woken up by like laughter and like exclamation. And then I told them to not. I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
Why didn't you say anything?
Because I was half asleep.
Well,
why didn't the half of you that was awake say something?
What if you dreamed it?
I definitely didn't dream it.
I mean, that could lead to a fight, though. I mean, you don't want to get into a fight in the plane. That's a straight up
the worst. Like, let me tell you,
felony.
When I put like a top 5 list of places where I don't want to be in any sort of kind of problems or issues, number 1 might be a plane. Number 2 is the airport.
Yeah,
just don't. I'll always take the L because.
Well, that's your ethnicity, right?
You're damn right, it's my ethnicity.
you don't want to be dragged into a room.
No.
But also, like to your point, Dan, like why don't you just say something? I wish I was slightly more confrontational. Like in that instance, I really do. Like if you're just that annoyed, why not just say it? Why not just say, look, man, there's a plane full of people that are trying to sleep. Can you be quiet? And like not be mean about it, but just say something. Not
could
go
get
through
away
the rest
with
of
it.
your life being soft and demure and
It's
people
not even
like
mean.
you, they think you're nice.
It's a request. Can you please? I'm trying to sleep. I've had a long day. Can you please be a little quieter? It's a request that doesn't need to be confrontational.
Yeah, I feel like any version of me saying anything on that flight would have been confrontational. 1, 2. When I'm sleepy, I really don't. I can't. There's like certain processes that are active and working, and then there's stuff on low energy mode, and everything outward is low energy mode. Talking, interacting with people, don't like it.
Do you guys want to take a guess here? DraftKings put this out yesterday. The most bet on coach in football to win Coach of the Year.
Oh, I thought he'd lose his job.
22% of the bets are coming in on this person. I believe he is plus 1,200, but he is the most bet on, plus 1,200, the most bet on to win Coach of the Year.
I know who it is. It's Dan Campbell.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, the Hard Knocks bump.
If the Lions make the playoffs, automatically.
Have you
Coach of
watched,
the Year.
Dan? It's incredible.
I have not watched any of it.
No?
I can't believe that this guy, though, has talked his way into convincing bettors to bet on him.
He's captured a
Campbell.
nation's heart.
Billy, what did you think about the great pants speech of episode 3?
Okay, so I started episode 3. I haven't finished. I'm behind 2 episodes now. But it was right at the start, right? I was super confused and I was doing something else. And that's why I haven't finished, because I'm like, I need to go back and watch this speech because I don't understand. Because he starts out the episode with like a classic, a room's full of people. He's in front of it. He's giving a speech. And it has something to do with how they lost the preseason game before. And then he just pulls out this really dirty pair of pants. And he just shakes it and throws like,
Dust
it looked
everywhere.
like pitching rosiners. I don't know what the hell he had on
It
it.
looked like LeBron.
And exactly, it looked like LeBron was in the room, and he just shakes it all over the place. And like, oh, we gotta be like those pants. And then you just see smoke everywhere, and it's like, wait, what happened now? Like, I need to pay full attention to this speech because I'm confused.
Were the pants that dirty naturally, or did he have to
It's
go?
impossible for them to have been that dirty
he had
naturally.
the guys.
So he had to empty a vacuum cleaner bag on the pants, and
It was like comically like someone folded the pants, and then like
they were folded.
in the fold, like poured a bunch of just like powder in it for him to shake and throw it everywhere for him to make a point about pants.
Spoiler alert, that was my favorite part of the show until episode 4, where Aaron Glenn, who's the defensive coordinator, chews the ever-loving shit out of the whole entire defense because they allowed a subpar offense to march all over them. The subpar offense was the Lions offense. He was berserk. He's like, you gonna let them do that to us? I'm like, oh my God.
His entire staff is former NFL players, and they're all just arguing and competing with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when you said
Staley.
Aaron Glenn, I was like, the Aaron Glenn?
The Aaron Glenn, the Deuce Staley. Billy, which staff member is the Stugatz strongest in? I want to see if you picked up the same
well, he's
vibe.
only watched 2 episodes.
No, but off of
though,
2
so
episodes,
far.
2 episodes, you can 2 episodes. Absolutely, there's someone.
Billy,
who's,
why are you so far behind? Because
It's only 4, I think, so far. Yeah. Not
yesterday was
45, man.
5. Yesterday was
Whittingham is falling behind. Football has gotten here, and Whittingham is now drowning in previews, right? Whittingham, you're falling behind. You're drowning in previews, and Billy's behind on Hard Knocks. Is it because you guys are consuming too many other things?
NFL preview. I mean, buddy, the season starts like tomorrow. What are we?
I know,
we gotta
I
catch
know.
up. What are we waiting
I'm
on?
cramming. I said last week I was easing into the season, and now I'm cramming.
Time to dive in right into the deep end, baby.
2-parter with Bill Barnwell and ESPN Daily. Got a bunch of stuff going on. A bunch of written previews. I know Peter King's column is like 30 pages long. I'm reading that before the start of the season. I'm fired up and ready to go for this.
When you're cramming and you're doing your previews, are you doing audio or are you doing reading?
Both.
What balance?
Probably 60-40 audio, just because I drive a lot. And so I'm kind of always in the car. So I've listened to a ton of previews of this season.
As you mentioned that the football season starts tomorrow, Billy, and as Amazon has a deal that's for 11 years, and one of their preseason games got a number of 1 million. That's just a preseason game. It was opposite another Chiefs game, and again, it's just a preseason game. But they've had to make a deal with DirecTV where they are selling their feed to 300,000 restaurants and bars. As the NFL season starts tomorrow, is it going to feel like it starts tomorrow? Are people going to be able to are enough people going to be able to find
tomorrow's game is not on Amazon. The opening game of the season is on over-the-air NBC.
Okay.
So it'll be the following week.
Okay, so
whichever Amazon
Do
game.
people feel like the NFL? Matthew Berry was on the Tonight Show yesterday. I'll have you know, football is back and better than ever.
Yeah. By the way, the week 1 slate. There's like a great game in every window. Except for Monday Night Football.
What are you talking about? Double revenge game. The only thing that surprised me about Monday Night Football is we're not getting the Monday Night doubleheader that we've got in a couple seasons in a row. I don't know if they did it last
I think
year.
they pushed it back. I think they pushed it to next week. I think it's like a
Really?
week 2 Monday Night
Well,
doubleheader.
because everyone wants to watch the double revenge game.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, Bucks Cowboys on Sunday night is going to be great. The opening game of the season. I love the matchup of Rams and Bills because for whatever reason, the Bills are getting all of the preseason hype. Picks for the Super Bowl, over-under is 11.5, everyone's going over, and somehow, at the end of all of that, the Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl champion, are home underdogs on the opening day of the season. What are we doing
Upset
here?
City.
The Rams are underdogs?
Don't champions always come out flat, though? That's what people are betting on. In most sports.
Yeah, but hold on.
Teams are
Championship hangover.
The Rams arguably got better. They added Allen Robinson on the outside. They added Bobby Wagner. Like, this team is almost better than what they were last year.
Buy or sell the Bills right now. I'm telling you right now.
I'm with Billy. All this Bills hype, where did it come from? I guess
they're really good.
God, I am hammering the Bills after all this talk.
I mean, to be
if
fair,
I've learned one
Just
thing,
because of this
Big
conversation
sell
right
on
now.
the Bills. I'm telling
Never
you. If
listen
it's
to
not
Tom.
in the regular season, it's in the postseason. Big sell on the Bills.
They did have a playoff game in which they scored a touchdown on every single possession.
And how did their season end?
That thing.
You know, that old chestnut.
Sell on it.
Tyreek Hill beat him in 13 seconds.
Billy,
Yo,
geographically, Upset City, where is that in relation to Tummy Ache City?
that's a really good question. So Upset City would be, I'm assuming, a positive place, right? Or
Is it?
Upset City? I don't know.
It sounds like it can be a sad place too.
It sounds like
upset, yes.
Upset City, right? But like Upset City is also like if you're the one causing the upsetting, then it's a positive place. So is it a positive place or a negative place? Upset City. We need to determine that before we can determine the location.
Upset City would be something
In
that
the
would be like
Midwest,
the
obviously.
capital of Amin's personality because he likes to go places and bother people. Like where people are bothered, Amin would put his house in he would live there. It was
The mayor.
His headquarters would be in Upset City. Going back to what it is that I was saying, so thank you. NBC is airing the game tomorrow night, but what's going to happen who's going to get iced out?
Old people?
Well, no, but the median age on Amazon was 51. You say old
Really?
people, and the median age on I was surprised by
How's
this
that possible?
A million old people.
Because your parents are paying for Amazon?
Because it's the subscriber that we're counting. Because I was
Yeah.
going to say, like, a bunch of 20-year-olds are watching it. To get to 50, we're going to have a bunch of 75-year-olds watching it. Like, is that happening?
Well, I think Dan's saying the median age of an Amazon Prime subscriber is 51.
Of
not
someone who's-
not of a Prime Video user.
Of a subscriber or of someone who's watching?
No, forgive me.
No, of a subscriber.
Please stop speaking for me.
Okay.
What I was saying, I'm right here. I can speak for myself.
What he was saying.
I think what Dan means.
It's the 51 years old is what they were saying was the demo of the million people who watched the preseason game on Amazon. And what I'm asking you is, as this heads, as you now have to pay for football more overtly, and as sports fans are made slightly more uncomfortable by the feeding frenzy of the streaming services that are going to make it harder for you to find where your games are because they're not on network television. How is that going to change the Thursday night experience? I don't have an answer for you. As I was reading the numbers, I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting because Amazon will get more subscribers from this, but football will get fewer viewers from this on a Thursday night if people have to hunt it down.
But they have an advantage over like a Peacock, right? Because like you could just be on Amazon Prime and then it's like click here to watch football and you're like, oh shit, like there's football on, I can go watch
You
it.
get email
Really-
notifications. But, I mean, to your point on Peacock, I remember the first time when NBC launched it and they put big Premier League games on there. And it was strange. Like, it was strange. And it was kind of, from my personal experience, like, am I the only one watching this? Like, it doesn't feel as communal when you fire up a streaming service to watch a live event. I don't know what that is. We'll probably get over it in a certain period.
It's just change.
I mean, Amazon has promised 12.5 million viewers, and they're going to Nielsen rate this. Normally, streaming events are not Nielsen rated, but they're promising 12.5 million viewers to their advertisers, which is a considerably lower number than most standalone primetime games get. So they feel reasonably confident that they'll get a lot of people to go, but it's a big adjustment. And the only way the NFL was going to get that kind of money on this product was to put it behind the streaming paywall because all the networks had their turn with Thursday Night Football. For the most part, they didn't really like it. And so this is where the money was going to come from. But game one of the Thursday Night Football package as we know it will be Chargers-Chiefs. And if we can't get you to the television set for Chargers-Chiefs or the streaming platform, computer, smart TV, whatever, then I'm not sure we can get you because that's like one of the games of the year for me.
It's all a bet, right? It's all a bet in the sense that how much do you love football, right? If it were any other sport, if it were EPL, for instance, there is not enough of an appetite for EPL in this country, for them to go searching through the internet, through apps and all. But for football, which we've demonstrated time and time again, insatiable appetite for this product. If you tell people there's an NFL game playing right now, and they say where, and you say Amazon Prime, they don't already have it, they're going to get it. Because we know that this is the drug that America can't say no to. And that's what they're betting on. $1 million in a preseason game. Watch those numbers go up week by week.
Guys, right now on Get Up, Eli is coming from a pretend house that we're saying is his house, and he's going to possibly smash helmets. Tell me that that's Eli's house.
This
It's
is
impossible
a bold
for that to be
take
Eli's
by
house.
you guys. You're saying that he chose for his background to have a lesser house than he actually has.
I think that there were
so
focus groups.
he's like, my house
Yes.
is way too nice.
Yes,
I need a shitty background.
Yeah,
He
okay,
went to a
calm down.
warehouse where this desk is.
There were focus groups that said, what does the normal household's living room look like? And then they recreated that for Eli to set up a standing desk in the middle of for some reason to have as his background.
What does his real house look like?
Not that.
This
No, but
is
wait, no.
it.
This
That's
is- no,
not his
describe
house.
it to
Come on,
me.
get out of
He
here.
did the Manning cast last year from this background, didn't he?
I believe it's a set. It's a fake set that they have set up to look like
Is it-
a relatable common man's house.
Is it actually in his real house though? Meaning, is
I
it
got-
a
I
set?
got it in his
like,
basement.
Like as soon as we cut, they're moving the backdrop, they're moving the table, and then there's just like a huge arena inside of his.
So this is what I'm thinking is
It's on
possibly
wheels and it
is
slides
possibly
away?
the case. I think
Like
that
a Pee Wee Herman?
it may be a studio that's directly adjacent to the studio that Peyton is doing it at. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
in the breaks, they just like walk out the door and it's like, "Hey Eli, what happened with the audio there?" Like, "Oh, what were you doing?" And then they have
was
like
on
little
AirPods.
meetings, and then they go back and they have it, but it's all in the same like giant Omaha studio
I have
warehouse.
it
somewhere.
sound like on a sound stage.
100%.
But like I have it like
Or-
the Warner Brothers lot where like this is Studio 21 and that all the way over there Studio 22 and that's where Peyton is.
Yeah, or I could see Eli having one of those giant like dope barns that people have at their house that you're like, oh my God, like people have these things and then they just have everything in there. It's like 40 feet high. You could fit 80 trucks in there if you needed to. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Well, why don't you explain to the audience what it is?
Football's back.
Yeah, but we're not on video right now. So why don't you explain to the audience where it is that Eli was coming from that you found so awkward
question.
because he was standing in front of a desk. There were 4 pictures behind him.
It was quite
2
quaint.
lamps.
It was a very quaint setup, I would say. It was something that wasn't what you would think Eli Manning would have. It was
Why?
a smaller,
Why?
because it was a smaller room.
It was a very basic wood on the table.
Yeah.
There was a
2
couple of
identical
chairs
lamps.
that looked like a television set.
Frames
And as
from
you mentioned,
Michaels.
Dan, like 4 picture frames in the background. That was a cascading wall back there.
Yeah.
That was not a small wall that was behind him. I would imagine the Manning family has more decorated walls than that.
If they don't have 18-foot ceilings, it's not a real Manning
Yeah,
house, I
come
would
on.
assume.
For sure.
And so your allegation is that that's being rolled in as a set through the palace or castle, wherever it is that Eli lives.
Or Dope Barn.
Or Dope Barn.
And it is just made to make Eli Manning look more like the middle.
We've just done 5. It's so clearly his basement, and we've done 5 minutes on this like elaborate. I need a shittier bat. Like it's just clearly his basement.
Not shittier. Guys.
Guy, it's Eli Manning. You guys have Eli Manning being this like he's not Mike Ryan over here.
He has a death row chain, okay? Like
What's that supposed to be?
Vain.
Oh.
You think that Eli Manning
just said let's make me more relatable. That's all.
Is there any particular reason that every Wednesday goes by and I can't get you to pay attention when Russo's on there, but Eli Manning pops up and you interrupt the show to do 5 minutes on whether his living room is real or
It's
not?
football, Dan. It's football.
It is back.
It is back. Dan, you started
Jack.
this saying you didn't know that it was back, or if it's not back, it doesn't
I
feel like it's
thought
back.
that-
It's back, my friend. Is it not? Amin feels it. Amin feels it, and he doesn't even like football.
I will say, I mean, to get back to the conversation we were talking about, you're saying, oh, people will find Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is $139 a year or $15 a month.
Not if you get that
Is
student
it?
rate.
Yeah, it is. That's what Amazon Prime
Man,
does.
I locked in early.
Yeah, I think I got Amazon Prime like 8 years ago.
You got to keep an eye on.
But it renews. Check your bill because I imagine it renews at a price that you're gonna be alarmed by.
You got to keep an eye on that. And also, here's a little life hack attack. If we're gonna do life hack attack, this is what you do.
Whisper.
They'll send you notifications saying your Amazon Prime subscription is gonna raise in price next year. So what you do is,
What do I do?
you buy yourself a gift of an Amazon Prime subscription for a year or possibly 2, and they just give you a code and you lock it in at the price before the price changes. And then every year you just put in the code and you get it at 2 years previous price, saving you money.
We've told people before, I don't know if this is still something that you can do, but in years past, we've saved people a lot of money by telling them to cancel their DirecTV and then watch as they try and give it to you cheaper. Cancel your red zone.
This is the weekend to do it, isn't it?
I don't know if it still works or not. We haven't tried it in 5 or 7 years where you call DirecTV, you say you're going to cancel your red zone, and then they offer you the red zone for less in order.
You have to have a real lack of shame for that, though. That's a tough conversation to have
To say I'm going to cancel?
as a decent human. Just like the threat of like
you
just
don't want to be indecent to this mega corporation that's making billions of dollars.
It's just
I don't want to be rude to Mr. Direct.
It's a hard
and Mr.
conversation to
TV.
have. I'm not good at these conversations.
I'm bad at threatening
I'll
people
just
too.
be like, you know what? You seem like you've had a long day. I'll pay a little more.
We start
What's
with
your Venmo? I'll give you a tip.
We start with Whittingham saying he doesn't like to confront people. A half asleep Amin refusing to tell the yammering loud person on a flight to shut up for 5.5 hours. And finally, at the end, Chris is like, I'll pay extra. Just don't make me have an awkward conversation with
It's more you don't want to spend a Saturday arguing with customer service. That's really
Put me
what
on
it
hold for 20 minutes, and then
Right.
I have to sit there in my own thoughts of like, you feel good about yourself? This is what you're doing on a Saturday.
I'm telling everybody right now, if you did not know it was back, you better get your Red Zone channel now. Do not make the mistake I have made 2 seasons now where I'm trying to get it on Sunday. And
on
I'm
like
on
12:45.
Oh, it's such a helpless, hopeless feeling when I have forgotten to get
You
it.
will be on hold for 72 hours.
It is. We will get back to you. Your call time is the 2025 NFL season.
And the best part too is that channel, if you forget to cancel at the end of the season, you can pay like $40 in carriage fees for like the screen that shows nothing
And just the opera.
Love that scene. I love that screen.
NFL Films music is
music.
great. NFL Films music is tremendous.
You need to set your reminder right now for like mid-January. Call and cancel the channel.
Yes.
Like set it in your calendar. Set it and forget
Really?
it. You've never
I think
done
I
it?
just paid for it
Oh,
year
You
round.
spent like $250.
I have a
I thought you said it was 40.
Chris is going to try to cancel and then end up paying $50 now.
Is Amazon Prime worth it?
1,000,000%.
You get it for free. Like if you have
Like-
Amazon Prime to buy things on Amazon, you get the channel
Prime
for
Video
free.
for free.
No, I'm not saying is the video worth it. I'm saying the entire. When you say it's $159,
Do you not pay attention? I told you how I bought something, said, guess what, guys, don't want it. Let me send it back. Let me bring in the refund process, which is super easy. They send you a barcode, and you drop it off at a UPS store, and that's it. They scan, you're done. And you know what they said to me? They said, you know what? Keep it. Here's your money back. And you're asking me if it's worth it? Man, give me all my money. Let me give it to Jeff Bezos right now, man. Amazon Prime is the most worth it subscription I have of any subscription I've ever had in my life. And that includes Columbia House, 11 CDs for just 1 penny.
Wow.
I'm convinced my wife is running like an underground clothes business with all the Amazon packages that she tries stuff on, boxes disappear, she sends stuff back. There's something fishy going on. Check my wife out, Amazon. What am I doing right now?
What? Amazon.
I just had a thought, and I kind of I talked it out too much.
Yeah.
I read something the other day, I believe it was from Robert Reich, saying that Jeff Bezos' worth, he bought something in Beverly Hills, a $150 million mansion or $137 million mansion.
Slumming it.
And yes, basically, they said it's the equivalent of somebody who makes $66,000 a year purchasing a home for $66.
Slumming it.
God.
Bullshit, man.
Slumming it.
Because he has simply taken over commerce, and everyone is a meme now. Where there's going to be no ability to avoid this thing. Anything you want in the world, you're going to have to give Bezos money. And
same day delivery sometimes, man. What are y'all talking about? I get it before 6 p.m.
You're right.
Hell yeah.
You're right, though. I mean, it comes in clutch so often for me where you like need something by Thursday, it's Tuesday, and it gets there on Wednesday. It's fundamental to my existence.
Tony, when we went to Milwaukee, half that shit was from Amazon. The only thing we couldn't get was the basket because they would have delivered it to the hotel and then I would have to like transport it somehow. So that's the only thing where I didn't do that. But like everything else we got in Milwaukee to do the whole dunk tank thing was all from Amazon.
Wait, so you bought a dunk tank on Amazon?
Well, no, the dunk tank was...
That was another guy.
That was a rental,
What was the basket?
What was his name?
I don't remember.
He was a good guy, too.
It was
My
a good,
guy.
he was a good
Yeah,
dude,
he was a good
man.
guy.
Really not an important detail.
No, but he was a good guy, though.
We wanted to
This
shout him
guy,
out.
though.
Tony, what kind
Carl.
of... Tony.
Dan, I'm sorry.
Go
name
sit
was
in the
Jeff.
Go
I'm
sit
sorry.
in the penalty box.
Damn
Go sit in the penalty
My
box.
bad. No, that's on me. You're right. That's on me. That's on me.
Show here.
That's on
I'm
me.
curious,
You're right,
though.
you're right.
He probably had a fun name.
He was a good guy, though.
What was it?
He was a good guy, though.
We gotta close this loop.
How is the payoff? Tony asking what was his name, Amin not remembering, and then the contribution is good guy.
The
My guy.
knowing grin, too. They grinned at each other. Oh, man. Remember that guy?
Fun times.
I didn't know
Good
what the
times.
basket was for that you couldn't get.
We all have that guy, though, right? And like, Woody, remember
Yeah,
our
we
tour
got
guide in L.A.?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do an
What
impersonation.
was his name?
Oh, remember the dealer in Lake Tahoe that saved your night?
What dealer?
Oh, come on. The blackjack dealer.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You had to be more specific.
I mean, yeah.
Most uncomfortable moment, Suey. Next.
Stugatz here. The numbers don't lie. In the last decade, over 4 million people have chosen Simply Safe Home Security to protect their home. I'm one of them. They must be doing something right. At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. I know because I use Simply Safe in my own home. They protect you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. We here at the Le Batard Show with Stugatz love our families. We love our yards. We travel a good amount, and Simply Safe makes it easier to check in on our homes and loved ones when we are not there. We also love a good perimeter check. Oh, do I love that. There's nothing better than a relaxing afternoon stroll around the yard just to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and Simply Safe makes this easier to do with their state-of-the-art technology, crystal clear HD cameras when we are traveling. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/DLB. Save 20% on your Simply Safe security system when you sign up for an interactive monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplysafe.com/DLB to learn more. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Do you want to feel closer to your partner? With Trojan Bearskin Raw condoms, you can get a closer, more natural experience while still providing the Trojan protection you can trust. Trojan Bearskin Raw is America's thinnest latex condom, made from premium quality latex to help reduce the risk of pregnancy and STIs. You can still get that natural, more intimate experience you and your partner are looking for, all with the peace of mind backed by triple-tested Trojan quality. Trojan Bearskin Raw is available at major retailers nationwide. So buy a pack today to experience raw. Trojan Bearskin Raw as it gets.
Dan Le Batard.
I did not propose in a hot air balloon, but I did go on a hot air balloon trip, a ride in San Francisco, Northern California. On my honeymoon, we got stuck in a tree, and I haven't been back since. I mean, to the entire area, by the way.
Stugatz.
You just avoided the entire,
Yes.
not just the tree, not just hot air balloons. You've avoided the entire West Coast.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz.
And now the SUI nominees for Most Uncomfortable Moment. Chris Whittingham mansplains childbirth to Jessica.
What was the invention that you guys were convinced when you were younger? Like, we'll definitely have this by the time I'm a grown up. For me, it was natural childbirth. I was in 8th grade. I learned all about the birds and the bees. It was a little late. I know Catholic school, they don't really teach you about anatomy there till you're way too old to know about it. And I was like, you know what? By the time this matters to me, like, there's going to be some other way to do this that it's not going to inflict any pain. It's going to be super easy.
They're called cesarean sections.
It's going to be very... Witty, that's like
a C-section.
That's not easy or safe. Like that's
better than natural childbirth.
That's a major surgery.
What are we doing? I'm very confused. We're talking about flying cars, and now we're
I'm in the middle of something, Witty.
Anyways,
I thought that something like that would exist by the time I was a grown up. It doesn't.
Billy Gill steps in it with the show's engineer, Bob.
Bob looks nice today, as you guys can now see if you're watching on YouTube. But look how sharp Bob looks. So I wanted to tell Bob, hey, Bob, you look great today. You look very, very nice. But I told you that I have a reluctance to say that because I've worried, because in the past I've said that to people here, and they've been like, oh, I actually have to go to like a funeral afterwards, whatever. So I was like, I'm not going to say it. And then I bragged to Tony. I was like, look how much I've grown. I didn't do it. And then I did it on the air like a dum-dum. And then I thought that we were done. And then we saw the Zoom chat.
The timing could not have been better.
Yeah.
As soon as the segment ended, I was like, oh no! And Billy's like, what? And I was like, did you see Bob in the chat? And Bob wrote, funny you should say that. I'm taking care of my ailing neighbor that is nearing death.
He laughed. Why are we all laughing at this?
Because Billy's an idiot.
The timing was so good. I mean, it couldn't have been a better moment in time.
I felt horrible, but you know what else I learned in talking to a couple of knuckleheads back here? There was people that knew this situation was going on, one of which is Tony, who I confided in and never told me, like, hey, good thing you didn't say anything, because he knew something was going on.
I forgot. I know that Bob is taking care of an old lady who's, not doing so great. Bob has confided me in that, so I didn't want to betray his trust about him taking care of an older lady.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's a good job out of you, Tony.
So Tony with privacy.
It is not a good job out of him.
You
Back
did not
to Billy
help
being
your
the jerk.
friend.
Yep.
No, it's a horrible job.
Okay.
You could have privately pulled me aside and said, no, like, good thing you didn't say because blah, blah, blah. Like,
He didn't know you were going to say it on air, though. How could he have
knew
known
I was
that?
going to say it on air. This guy's a devil on my shoulder.
Billy Gill goes after Bob Barker and Betty White.
98 years old, Bob Barker. Still with us.
Wow.
He looks every day of it, too. No offense, Bob Barker.
No offense. Jesus, Billy. What do you mean, no offense, Bob Barker?
Not to beat a dead horse with the People magazine Betty White conversation. The headline of the story they published on December 28th was, Betty White reveals her secrets to a happy life at 100. Quote, I'm so lucky to be in such good health.
Billy, you can't.
Is that a snort from Billy?
Billy,
It was.
Billy, what was that sound? What just happened?
It was a mixture of a laugh and a snort.
Yeah. And you held your hand.
I thought I'd covered it.
Lord.
It snuck out between two of your fingers, Billy, that were covering your mouth and your nose.
Chris Cody makes it weird with Joey Chestnut.
Is there a food you can eat the least of, oddly? Like, all these foods you can crush, but you put a rack of ribs in front of you, you can't get through it.
No.
He's like, what are you, idiot?
If I like the food, like if I like it, I want to eat a lot of
Like
it.
I'm Joey
It's a
Chestnut.
curse.
I'm sorry, I made it weird.
Like if they're
Joey, I feel like me and you would be
down.
friends. I feel like you and I, if like we met, it'd be like, yo, we should hang out more often. You don't agree? All right, good talking to you, Joey. Thank you.
So embarrassing. Just so embarrassing. I'm
Joey,
sorry,
next
Joey.
time you come to Miami, we'll all take you out for croquetas. You and Chris Cody can become best friends.
Yes.
Deal?
and the Cuban coffee. That's awesome.
Dan being awkward, coming out of the gates hot at the start of the Paul O'Neill interview.
Is Paul O'Neill coming to us from this strange studio in Ohio where he is separated from his Yankee colleagues who are broadcasting the games back in New York? I've been told that Paul joins them by Zoom. Is that where you're joining us from, Paul?
I am. I've learned a lot here in the first 5 minutes waiting to get on here, and I see that you have all the problems all figured out.
I do. Thank you for joining us.
He thinks he does.
Swinging a hit, 9 innings of what baseball taught me is available May 24th. You please tell me, though, what you think I got wrong there.
I don't want to go into the long list. We only got so many minutes here. But you know what? Sports are sports, and that's what's great about them. We can talk about them. We can argue about them. But at the end of the day, it's who wins or who loses.
He's right. Sports are sports, Dan. I mean, professional hitter.
But I'd be perfectly fine. I mean, we could talk about your book, but I'd also be perfectly fine if you enumerated all the things I got wrong for as long as you'd like to talk about it.
He said not enough time.
But I'm saying I do have enough time. I will talk to him for the
But
rest.
he doesn't.
I will talk for the rest of time if he wants to correct anything it is that I got wrong.
Onward.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good move. We don't have to stay there, Dan.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how awkward it is, Paul, to do the broadcasts remotely?
No, it's fine. I mean, this is what the past couple of years have done.
Dan being awkwardly persistent about Paul O'Neill's background at the end of the interview.
Paul, thank you. Thank you for being on with us. How did you get that up in your house? Is that a towel? Is that a curtain? Did they mail that in? The Yes Network? What is that? What's the fabric?
You know what?
You?
This has been up for a couple of years, and my wife, who is my technician, she hangs it proudly. So please don't say anything bad about it or decorate it.
As a curtain or bed sheets, it just looks substantive. It looks thick. It looks a good audio quality. It looks like I'm just curious what the fabric is.
Well, it is cloth. See, we can move it.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Cloth.
The rare fabric.
Journalism.
Weird.
Journalism. I did hard-hitting journalism.
Trying to sew something out of it, Dan? Like, what are we doing
What
here?
are you doing there?
Paul, thank you for being on with us. I was trying to end it more awkwardly than I began it. Thank you, sir.
Congrats.
Kevin Mitchell,
You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you
Thank you,
soon.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Mr. O'Neill.
Thank you,
We could
Paul.
all had a laugh on John Jaha, but he had to ask about the fabric.
I know. We could have, but he didn't seem. He was a very reluctant player of the Kevin Mitchell game. We finally got Kevin Mitchell, and I feel like we got a big victory there at the end, and I thought we should stop pressing our luck.
Let me ask you a genuine question. Do you have a right foot that you like to get off on? Because it's just, woo, every time. Like, you came at him swinging. Like, well, here's the unvaxxed Paul O'Neill, everybody. He's been at his home for 2 years. It's embarrassing. Paul, tell me about it.
Tell me what I said wrong.
Yeah. What do you mean I got it wrong?
Debate me.
About Luca? Huh?
Probably won't get the salacious stories in this book, but still, check it out.
It won't be the stories you want. I haven't read it, but I'm an asshole.
Do you have a right foot? I mean,
that is exactly right.
Give me your top 5. I'll disagree with everything.
I mean, he
But
was
you were
right.
right
Dan
there.
was right about
Dan was
that.
right there.
I did it to Crawford.
I was right.
Dan
I was
did
right
it
on the
here.
other one.
He needed to.
I was right on the
He
other
wasn't
one,
playing
too.
it right.
Yeah, you were right on all of them. You were right on all of them.
Dan asked Jason McCourty about the Larry Izzo shitting on the sideline story.
You must know the story of Bill Belichick giving Larry Izzo a game ball one time because he successfully shit on the sidelines in a bucket without anyone noticing.
I've never heard that story. Larry Izzo is before my time. That doesn't surprise me though, if that is in well true. But I've never heard that story.
Tell me again what you just said in my ear, Whittingham, because you're so right.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay in our internet connection, and the 3-second wait in between when you asked the question and when Jason McCourty heard it really made me feel uncomfortable.
Yes,
on
I
your
was
behalf.
deeply uncomfortable as well. I think we were all made uncomfortable by
Why'd
that.
you assume everyone knows the Izzo story?
I just assumed I thought it was Patriots lore.
Dan won't stop asking Stan Van Gundy to call his mother live on the show.
Would you text one of the producers of this show your mother's telephone number so that you and your mom can break down this trade?
So it's 9:00 in the East. My mom and dad have already walked 4 or 5 miles today, and
so a Zoom link would be hard, though. We should probably just call her, right?
She's not doing Zoom links. Nope.
Okay, just text us her number, and we will get you and your mom. I would like for you to just tell her the details of the trade. No one else can have this sound. It is you and your mother giving us your exclusive thoughts on this trade between Tampa and Detroit. You're willing to do this with us, Stan?
Well, I couldn't get her right now. I know this. She's got weekly phone calls that she makes to friends of hers. And so she has calls at 9:00 on every day of the week. So
can we be added to the list? Billy wants to be added to the list. I'd like to be among
He's
her.
not going to take no. He's not taking no for an answer. Just say yes.
But I'm not going to be able to get her right now.
Just pretend like you texted me the number. I'll pretend like I'm calling her, and I'll pretend like, it went to voicemail. She's
We'll
on
be
another
doing
line.
this till 2:00 in the afternoon.
Please
Just say yes, please.
Please, just
The
I
other
don't want him to
thing
yell
is
at me
they're
again.
not gonna. she's not going to answer a cell phone or a text.
Just say yes,
Just
Dan.
say yes, please.
No, I'm not saying yes.
I'm driving to your mom's house. I'm driving to Dan.
I'm going to your mom's house.
I'd have to talk to her and tell her what's going on and see if she wanted to be on. I'm not going to blindside her.
Okay, I'm going to blindside her in a second.
Jessica Smetana asks Lando Norris about an autographed photo that he didn't actually sign.
A fan sent me a picture of you once, and it had like an autograph on it. I was wondering if this was your real signature.
That's really not my signature. I'm sorry.
No,
wow.
it's scam. It's fraudulent.
It's a big scam.
Oh,
I haven't even paid for it or anything.
Oh no! What kind of introduction is that? You introducing him to counterfeit?
I can send you another one. I'll send you another one. That's probably one of my best ever photos. I'm a racing driver, but that's me modeling and pulling off some of my best modeling moves I've ever done in my life.
Tim Reynolds tells Chris Cody and Stu Gatz to keep it down in the Florida Panthers press box.
I'm so excited. Will Manso is down there doing a sad report in an empty arena.
Yes, Will Manso is down.
Will Manso!
I got him. Yo, Manso!
Manso!
Hey, where's Goldie? Hey!
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. They're doing a thing. We're doing a thing. I mean, talk about Verhage, man.
We just got in trouble. Oh my God.
Who yelled at us?
That was, it was Tim Reynolds of the AP. It's fine. It's fine.
Tim Reynolds got mad at you?
All right. So I think what just happened was we were doing our thing, having a good time, and Tim Reynolds is down there on Deadline maybe or something. I don't know. He writes, it's online now. Are you on Deadline anymore? Do they still print papers?
The other reporters, all the other writers, they're in the room right now getting sound. I mean, Tim Reynolds get over himself. I got to be honest with you. He's got an issue with me. Come on, let's go. I mean, listen, I'm Stu Gatz, he's Tim Reynolds.
This is instantly awkward, but it's honestly all we needed, and I'm happy.
Hold on, you still haven't told Carter Verhage yet, other than saying he watched you have sex. That is the breakdown of the game. Shh. We're in an empty hockey arena. We have to be quiet.
It's taken us a week and a half to get everyone mad at us in this press box. Why is he upset? That was really good. Should we walk over there with a mic?
I dare you to go ask him to come on.
Would you like to recap the game with us? Oh my God, Kodak Black's down there right now.
Yell his name.
No, I'm done yelling. I'm scared.
Listen to me. I'll talk about Carter Verhage.
Roy Bellamy says John Daly won't make it to the end of 2022.
John Daly has won 2 majors, and that's what created the legend of John Daly.
And hits the ball a mile.
There can't be a possibility that he's going to be able to see the end of 2022, is there?
Whoa.
Wow. Like, he is living a life.
Whoa. You're killing him in the next few months?
Yes.
That's how dark your season has turned.
Yes.
So you are saying, and you're choosing him in the death pool to be so unhealthy that he's going to die. Roy, why are you doing this with such confidence?
Because I'm broken, Dan. If my hockey team's going to die,
lashing out.
everybody else.
Stu Gatz embarrasses Mike Ryan and Chris Cody in Tahoe because of how loud he talks.
Shane Victorino right there. He's got to walk to him.
The flying Hawaiian?
Don't he?
You're so loud.
You're so loud.
I don't care.
Your voice carries.
So what?
I know.
Voice carries.
What do you want me to do?
No, I don't want you to
whisper? I mean, what should I do?
Ideally, I'd prefer you not saying "flying Hawaiian" at the top of your lungs when Shane Victorino approaches. Yeah, but you got caught doing that too. Because I'm sandwiched in between 2 guys that can't help themselves.
Mike,
when it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies of the early 2000s.
Wait, so you want me to change just merely because we're right in front of these people? Like, I think deep down inside, you want me to say the flying Hawaiian.
No.
He just looked up.
I'd really prefer you don't, because it does bring me some shame.
Stu Gatz has zero subtlety talking about Boban Marjanovic.
I wouldn't want that coming after me. I don't know if you saw some of the photographs of Boban hugging Chris Paul after the game, but his hands, it made Chris Paul look like a 4th grader because his hands were enveloped the head of a Hall of Famer.
The feet are extraordinary as well. You never see his feet, but it's unreal in person.
How about his dick? We were all thinking it. I mean, was I just the only one? Dan, were you thinking about it? I felt it.
You felt his dick.
Well, I felt the thought is what I meant. I was wondering if, well, no. Was anyone else thinking it? You guys going to leave me alone here, huh? That's what's happening?
I mean, of his hands and his feet,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Anyone? Fine, I'm the only person that thought of Boban's dick. I mean, jeez. Give me a break. Liars. I mean, say it, Dan. You were thinking about his penis. Like, it's big. It has to be, right? Proportionally.
Stugatz goes a little too hard on Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. You know what you'll be remembered for most? Punching people in the balls.
Yeah.
The package. The penis. The dick. The cock. You know what I'm saying, Dan?
Yeah, I don't know. Please. I don't know yet. I don't know.
The schlong, Dan.
No, you've really escalated.
The Johnson.
Most known for.
The Twiggenberries, Dano. Again.
You made it a cereal. Twiggenberries.
Delicious.
Greg Cody's attempt at paying tribute to Julia Child. Julia Child is genuinely a hero of mine, the French chef. And watching the documentary, you learn things about her as a person. I had no idea she was a chain smoker, big cigarette smoker. Huge woman, about 6'4", and what a chef, though. No, she was. I mean, I used too much butter.
I'm sorry, you watched a 2-hour documentary about Julia Child and came back with she was a chain smoker at 6'4".
Yeah, huge woman.
Huge.
No, she was.
6'2".
Greg, what?
And she used too much butter. Dan awkwardly asked Molly Knight about her dog during their serious Trevor Bauer discussion.
Obviously, as a writer or as a human, you're going to screw up and you're going to step on some toes or hurt someone's feelings, and you just have to apologize for that and move on. And someone like him, it's all about bullying. It always has been, and it's ironic because he says he was bullied as bullied badly as a teenager or pre-teenager in high school. And he's doing the same thing. He's done the same thing. And I've actually I've gotten a lot of requests to speak about Bauer on the radio in LA and nationally. And I've turned down every request. This is my first one. Dan, I just love your work. And I think you're, a good person. And, you're not going to be asking me all about how credible I find the victim and putting her on trial. It's a really sensitive subject, and there's really not a lot of upside in talking about it and getting his followers all pissed off and coming after me. But yeah, after yesterday, I just think it's important to talk about it.
I want to go through some of these details, but we should tell the audience because that was inopportune. And thank you for the compliment, but you're talking about serious stuff, and we had a visitor there who's been jangling around the premises here for a while, and we might as well introduce the audience to him or her. So who's hanging around with us? Who's that dog?
Oh, my dog?
Yes. Yeah.
My dog, George.
About Stugatz.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's jangling around.
You're not that nice when my dog shows up.
No,
he's a 9-month-old cattle dog.
Stugatz's awkward interaction with Justin Timberlake in Tahoe.
Who's this coming over?
Timberlake's walking over. I wanted to ask Jay Billis about
walking to us.
I Come in Peace. Have you ever seen I Come in Peace?
No.
It's a movie about aliens, but Jay Billis was an alien in it.
Right, really?
Yeah. No, he was a star turn.
Wow.
Interesting.
What up, JT?
What's up, guys?
What's up, doing?
Man? Good luck today, boy.
Jay Billis was in. Jay Billis was in the side.
Today, boy. That's how I talk to him. He's my friend. If you know him the way I know him growing up, everyone knows to call him boy.
I come in peace. Don't do that. You just embarrassed me so much. You're like my dad.
Mike Ryan's awkward interaction with Nick Jonas in Tahoe.
Okay, guys, Nick Jonas is walking this way.
Can we get him to say what's up?
We're gonna
All
definitely.
right, and we got to put him in. We got to tag him.
I'll turn my.
We've had Timberlake. We've had Vince Carter. We've had
Joe Mauer. We had a full conversation with Joe. Like Joe Mauer basically sat down for an interview with us.
If he says hello, we got to be like, "You say louder."
Yeah.
Okay. We had Charles Woodson.
No. We're gonna go. I know exactly. I'm gonna say that shot on 18. Oh my God.
Do we have Charles?
Yeah. We're gonna get Barkley.
Hey, what's up, Nick?
Nick.
Good luck today. That shot on 18. My God.
Duh.
You made it weird. That time you embarrassed us.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, boy.
He literally looked through you right there like, what?
Yeah.
All right.
You saw me. I was going to say, my God, pal. And I immediately started leaking confidence that I ejected on pal.
So that was almost as bad as Stu got saying to Justin Timberlake, good luck, bud.
So thanks to Nick Jonas for joining us on the show.
No, I don't think we can say that.
Why? Did you guys get it? Did you get Nick?
Did we
got Nick? Yes!
Nick, yeah.
Dan Le Batard, Roy Bellamy, and Mike Ryan's awkward interview with Michelle Tafoya.
Michelle Tafoya, who I've not talked to since the very nice time of doing PTI with her, and I've had nothing but cordial experiences with her. But I've read recently that you have been on the dark side, secretly on the dark side. And so walk me through. Good to see you again, Michelle, by the way.
Hi, I guess from the dark side. I didn't know that it was dark, but thanks for letting me know. Maybe I should turn on some more lights in here. To divide people by color and assign senses of spirit and feeling and belief to them based on the color of their skin before they even speak, which is kind of what's happening here. Go ahead.
I'm not stopping you from speaking. You just stopped yourself from speaking. I'm a Latino man. I'm not infringing on your. I'm not infringing on your right.
But what the audience can't see is you saying, "Oh my God," and reacting.
Michelle, you've done that to me, and I'm not calling you out on it. I keep it moving because I'm
calling
trying
you out on it because you seem to be so angry with me, and
I'm not angry with you. I feel like you're setting
up. Me on this show to just come right out of the gate.
No, I think
assume that I am some sort of. I don't know what you made the assumption. I'm on the dark side was like in the first 10 seconds of the interview. I don't understand this.
Progress for the moment. We will pick it up at another time. I'll see if I can get you to 8th grade, and by the end, we're going to chisel you down. First graders are going to be taught facts about racial history in this country over time. Her new podcast, Sideline Sanity, launched last month. You get it wherever you get your podcast.
Dan,
yes, ma'am.
Dan, you can't get away with that.
What happened?
I have always said I want history taught truthfully from beginning to end to every grade level. That I have no argument with. So please don't put words in my mouth that I don't want 8th graders taught history. That's not at all where I stand.
She doesn't have the time to do it now, but I'm assuming you're doing it on Sideline Sanity, correct? So if they want more of your thoughts here, that's where they can get them. Yes, Michelle?
Yes.
Stugotz gets genuinely upset with Dan.
Darkly enraged. He came in for some reason because we were all stunned. $5.
The mic was off. $5 for you.
This is going to be a rough one today because he's somehow mad at us.
I'm not mad at anyone.
All that's happened.
Tired of you.
What has happened here is Stugotz has yanked every schedule around the last 2 days.
I've yanked my schedule around. Go ahead.
We had to come in the middle of the morning yesterday.
Right.
Okay, look, I'm telling you, he's pissed at us, and this is my.
Let me be very clear. Not mad at any single person in that room.
You're mad at me.
I'm not even mad at you. Now, I'm frustrated by Dan because what happens when I leave this studio and when I get back the next day, none of your business. You seem to think it is. But I come to work, I do my job, I deal with bullshit for the rest of the day that I don't need to deal with because I'm busy doing other stuff, like you posting personal emails of mine, but I'm not mad at you. I should be mad at you, but I am not.
Okay, so let's talk this out because I purposely wanted to take people totally behind the scenes here, and Stugotz and I have not talked since the last 2 days of chaos that have resulted in Jessica, Chris Cody, and I think Roy being totally stunned when Stugotz walked in here this morning because we all thought that he was going to end up wherever he was ending up with his personal time, which is none of my business, but has become our business, and in the last few weeks has altered our schedules because you're following the Grateful Dead, and we're trying to work around your schedule, everybody here, lovingly. And
work around my schedule? I go to Dead shows. Like, I have vacation time like everyone else. You should take one.
Amin El-Hassan has some interesting show research on his laptop when Kevin O'Connor joins.
We've got Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer joining us on the post-game show.
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay.
You can't figure it out, can you?
Casey's trying so hard to get out of here. Yep.
In my defense, hold on. In my defense, believe it or not, I can't even say this shit out loud. In my defense, we were doing research for a movie that involved a certain adult film actress, and so I was searching.
That's on the computer. Whoa! What are you doing? You left your computer earlier. What are you doing to me?
Oh my God!
Hold on.
Goodness.
That was
what are you doing
7 hours ago. That was 7 hours ago.
I swear to God, it was research. I swear to God.
Yo,
Zach. You know what?
Did KOC just catch you watching porn?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, hold on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We recorded a podcast today. What's up?
Sure. What podcast? What are you talking about?
It's called Cinephobe. It's the podcast where you and I watch movies that are poorly rated on Rotten Tomatoes.
We don't watch porn.
Whether they're actually poorly rated or perhaps didn't get a fair shake at Cinephobe. Produced by Anthony Mays. Wherever you get podcasts this month, Matthew McConaughey month. And we were watching a movie, and in the movie there was an adult film star that I did not know was an adult film star.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
I decided
this sounds
to,
very fishy.
in the middle of doing the podcast, search.
You didn't know she was a.
If I could pull up the tabs again,
star.
I will show you the name.
I mean, you can pull up your history.
Yeah.
No, you know what?
No.
No.